So for this video, I'm going to show you how to sew on a patch, an embroidered patch on the sleeve of a jacket. Now I used a few different techniques that work for different spots of the jacket, but this one I'm just going to show you for this part. So sorry I didn't film this earlier when I was starting out, but the technique honestly would work exactly the same as if I was starting right now. What I did when I put this patch on is I kind of marked the corners with some marker, as you can see. That was just because I wanted to make sure everything was aligned and nice and perfect. I made the mistake on this patch. This is my first sleeve patch I did, where I didn't align it right. This one was supposed to be nice and centered, you know. I mean, it works out with the rest of the jacket on this patch because the Aussie and the Randy Rhoads patch are off-centered on purpose. And then other issues I had was it buckled right here. I wasn't making sure it was nice and straight and aligned. And when I tightened the thread, it would move in. I didn't even think about it moving. But regardless, so here's what you do. Just imagine we're starting over or even continuing, right? I put in the needle through the arm of the jacket, obviously. And then I line it as close as I can to the actual patch itself. So I'm just kind of showing you that it's not in the right area. So you want to get as close as you can to the actual edge. Almost there. And I'm going to try to match it with this area to make it look all clean. You know, feed it through. Then you want to just put it on the inner edge of the patch. Pull it nice, tight. You don't want to pull it too tight, otherwise it will buckle like it did on this Queensryche patch. But I used a different technique for that, and that's probably also what helped. Pull it nice and tight. And then you just repeat it. Find the edge of the patch, as close as you can get. May take a little bit. Obviously be careful of your fingers. There you go. That's as close as I can get it, roughly. Feed it through. And just align it on the edge of the patch. Or the inner edge, I guess. We'll do one more. I forgot to cut the extra slack when I was tying my knots, but that's alright, I can do that later. See? Real basic technique, and sewing's fun. I picked it up about a month ago, so I've been having fun sewing on my jacket and everything. There we go. And that's the basic of that. So another thing you can see that I did was when I was feeding it through, you can kind of see right here and right here and right here and some other spots is I didn't go on the inner side. I put in actually directly of the embroidered area or whatever you want to call the edge. And that's fine. I just thought it made the patch, you know, stay on stronger or something like that. The other technique, now this is what works for when you're higher up the sleeve so you don't have to reach your arm all the way in, pulled in, pulled out, and then it gets fed all weird, is I used the clamp. I used just one of these little paper clamps. Now what I did was I took the sleeve, put my hand through it, fed it, I'm going to show you in the Queensryche patch, and just kind of made a little pinch on it. And I'd pinch it as tight as I could get, as tight and as close as I could to the edge. And then I would clamp it. And then I would literally just feed the needle through, loop it over, feed it through again, loop it over, and kind of coil it, you know what I mean? And so that works. That's another technique that works. My original technique I did on this jacket for most of the patches was the basic, just kind of in and out and in and out and in and out, kind of like what you learn in like kindergarten, as you can kind of see with the stitch pattern on it. This is just a tighter upshot version of what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see, get the light a little bit better, there we go. Get as close as you can. If you hit the patch itself and it goes through the patch, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, it's all how you want to do it. Put it close. See, this one's a little bit farther out than what I normally would have done, but you just got to be careful. I wasn't paying attention, I guess, or whatever. We'll see, though, when I tighten it, if it looks okay. Oh, yeah, that looks fine. Okay. You just go on the edge. Just kind of have to feel for it. Get as close as you can. I was really worried when I started sewing on my other patches. I would actually avoid the sleeve altogether because I was worried, like, oh, what if I screw it up or anything like that. It's just, you know, you just have to have the confidence to do it. And I'll show you the inside, how the stitching looks when that's what it looks like. But yeah, just take your time. Make sure every stitch is nice and doesn't move the patch around and stuff, and you'll be good to go.